Hey there, folks and friends. Connecting Dots here. It's Wednesday, March 12th, 2014. Fukushima Day 1097. That's right, 1097 days after the event, and yesterday was the big anniversary. Did you celebrate? No, I didn't. Now, before I jump into Fukushima news, I've been contacted by a lot of people here at Connecting Dots 2 regarding the Thomas Brinkley Intel update. Folks, all I can say is you have to hold on here. There's a grieving process taking place. Yes, I have been contacted. I'm not full of BS. I will be releasing information. In fact, I may even have a special guest. That's all I'm going to say for right now, because like I said, we're discussing it right now. But it's the grieving process. It's only been a week. Can you hold on, please? Okay? Just hold off. It's coming out, okay? There's going to be information here that I'm going to be releasing, and I'm learning more all the time. It's a big discovery process. It's not like everything is clear to the other side either. I mean, people have contacted me. It's not cut and dry here. There's a lot of questions on their part too. So, okay, they don't want to be made look like fools either on YouTube. So, it's a sensitive situation. So please have some respect here and just hold off. I'm not full of BS. I will share with you when I get some information. Okay, now Fukushima stuff. Can you believe it here? This is March 11th, so this is fresh off the press. It was just yesterday. Okay, here we have. It's disgusting. I couldn't believe this when I read this. You have Dale Klein here, who's formerly the chief regulator of the U.S. nuclear industry. I've always been wary. Anyone from the U.S. nuclear industry, watch out. Hello, what is he saying? He wants, can you believe it? The Japanese government must persuade its public to accept controlled release of contaminated water to ease the risk of storing it in tanks. Hello? Hello? Is this guy for real? Listen, I understand the tanks, they've got problems with them and they're leaking. I understand that situation, but let's use a little common sense here. I'd much rather have that highly contaminated waste sitting in these tanks that may potentially spring a leak, and we'll have to deal with the leak, than having to dump all of the waste, uncontrolled, unfiltered, into the ocean. Like, come on. Where's this guy coming from? And it's sad, Not only do we now know they've been dumping over 400 tons every single day into the Pacific Ocean for 3 years now. 3 years. And this is the kind of stories we have here on the anniversary of this situation here. The media, again, downplaying the situation here. Notice that V, folks, okay? This is important. I've paid a lot of attention to what's going on. I used to ridicule it myself, but once you start keeping your eyes open, you notice these V's and these triangulars, these triangle forms. But I'm going to continue on here. I'm saying this for the people that are following me all the time. I'm going to mention this as we go along in other stories. So here we are here on the West Coast in BC, and they're questioning, will the radiation pose a threat? I'm not even going to get into that. And here's why. Over on my Connecting Dots 2 channel, and I want to mention this, it's funny how the alternative news will take my videos, post it on their website, collect donations or run ads on it, make money from them, and when they post a story about me in their, in the thread, they never use the name Connecting Dots 2 or Connecting Dots 3. It's always Connecting the Dots. Same with Jonah. Hey, yeah, Jonah, same with you. You speak about me, but no, it's always Connecting the Dots. What's going on here? How come people can't remember Connecting Dots 2? What's so tough about that one? Anyways, regardless, the point is, if you want to follow Fukushima stories, go to my Fukushima Day. I've promoted everything there. I've ordered everything in chronological order, and this is where it really starts heating up here. You have to go back in time because I've already made, I think, the bombshell videos that you all want to get informed on if you're new to this situation. Even on the CBS, there's people going around here telling you that the reactor 4 is not being decommissioned, it's all fake, it's a tent. I've dealt with these stories before here, and I'm not going to go over them, but the best stories come from 1058 downwards, I feel, is where we have the Swiss government that just released information here, new photos, images, telling us that basically they've lost control at the 3 reactors, which I've been saying for a long time here. That's all part of my emblem with the leak falling down from each. I thought there was only 2 reactors that were leaking at the time. That's why I've got 2 of them. Regardless, now apparently there's 3 that they haven't controlled. Folks, I'm not going to continue on that. I'm going to stick with garbage. Yeah, literally garbage. So I'm going back in time here because this all started here on September 6, 2013. The Japanese government had given the Canadian government a bunch of money here to help us deal with all this garbage that was lining up on, washing up on our west coast. Now, this story here talks about how the Haida received 139,000. That's going to be awarded over 2 years, and there's a minimum of 4 accessible and 4 remote access cleanup sites. And you're probably thinking, well, that's not bad, for the island. They're doing pretty good. But you know what? And even here, just recently, March 7th, here, Ukulele gets 80,000 to fund Japanese tsunami debris cleanup, which is great, good. It's a good story. I mean, I'm not putting down the fact that people are willing to go out there and work, because it's going to be volunteer work. I don't know who's getting the money, but it's volunteer work. Regardless, my point is here that, and I'm talking about ukulele because, well, I talked about I go mushroom picking, gourmet mushrooms, and that's the part of BC where I go. So I've been in that town hundreds of times. I know the area very well. I know the ocean shoreline. Same with Tofino. Now, oddly enough here, this is the day, was just fresh off the press yesterday. They talk about how they had this collective shoreline garbage gathering here, tsunami debris, a one-day event. Keep that in mind. So they had 70 students here that walked out here from 14 different universities. They walked up to the beach here and they got to work on a Sunday. Okay? They roamed the shoreline along the Broken Islands in the Pacific Rim National Park. So now, good thing, they found a lot of garbage. And by the way, how much did they find? 7 tons of debris. Not a little bit either, eh? That's quite a bit. Mind you, the reports was what, 1.8 million tons, I think, that was coming at us in the next couple of years. Okay, so moving along here, there's a lot of garbage. I mean, that was just one image that was taken here, just to give you an idea of what was mixed in with this soup of debris that's coming at us at different rates here. Oddly enough, and if you're wondering, are the coastlines clean? Well, this story here is kind of fresh here, and this is from One Morning's Haul here from Sargent Bay near Powell River, BC. Now, I'll be honest with you, maybe that Powell River area, Sargent Bay, the bay itself may be a little dirtier than normal. I'm not quite sure, because I know that sometimes garbage does collect a little more in certain bays than others. But regardless, my point is here, there was already a bunch of garbage here, and anyone who's a beachcomber is already fully aware of that. Now, when we started seeing, first it was everything floating on top. So we had the ships here. I made a stories on that one, how the U.S. Coast Guard sunk it down to the bottom of the ocean. Yeah. Oddly enough here, then we had another boat washing up on Oregon. They picked up all the clamshells. They quickly disappeared. We never got the results on those. And even when they dug it up, everything was picked off here. They took it all away. And then we started having other reports coming in how the debris was washing up in the northern coastlines. Now, these coastlines, they are long, folks. I'm not sure if you've ever been to British Columbia, but boy, there's a lot of beaches here. A lot. It's one of the big things that attracts people is the massive shoreline, and definitely not the garbage pile that's coming at us. No. So, volunteers needed, of course. That was the call they put out here, and that was a while back in 2011, I believe. No, sorry, that was April 18, 2012. They had to put a call out because they knew they had a massive amount of garbage coming at them, and they needed someone to pick it up. Of course, they're not going to get paid. They need volunteers. So people jumped in, of course, here on Vancouver Island. They picked up a lot of garbage, and they trucked it in here they pulled it in, dragged it in from all along the coastline, different places. But here's the thing, even with all the garbage that they can possibly pick up, even with the one day and all those other days that they went out, these volunteers, during 2012, there are miles of beaches where there's garbage laying there. And this was the drift, the expected debris drift that was supposed to come in here and wash up against BC. There's not very many residents that live up in this area of BC. In fact, very few. No one's going to be up there picking up that garbage, guaranteed. Okay, so the Haida Island there, that's right here, and I'm right here on Vancouver Island, and where I was talking about Tofino Euclid is right at this section here of Vancouver Island. So yeah, they have a concern here, folks, and this British Columbia has a long coastline. They're talking over 15,000 miles of coastline. So, I'm there's no way no one's ever going to be able to walk all of this coast here and clean up everything, and people come here to get away from, well, yeah, they come out here to fish, and they come out here for the wildlife, and they also come out here for the beautiful beaches. Yes, it's great to get away. I love camping out here, and there's just no way they're going to do it here, folks. You'd have to understand the BC coastline, just how many of these little inlets, and look at these there's homes out here, not all these islands are vacant. There's people living on them, and as you can see here, not only did we have the massive corporations here that scalped all of our coastline, clear cutting right down to the shoreline. Isn't that disgusting? But now we're going to have the corporations from the energy sector, well, we're going to have their mess here that we're going to have to clean up here with this tsunami debris, the radiation that's going to be washing up our shoreline. I realize the tsunami debris is not their fault, but yes, I'm talking about the radiation that's going to be coming here, because it definitely is. If the garbage is making it here, there's no doubt that the radiation is in the water and it's coming also. You only have to use your common sense on that one. If garbage is going to, oh, sorry, that's not garbage. If garbage is going to wash up on the shoreline, I guarantee you it's going to wash up here. Now, unfortunately here, I wanted to show you a video that was put out here with debris that washed up on Hawaii. And unfortunately, NBC has clipped out a section of it where she shows where the scientist was talking about all the different fish they had picked up, and the sea life, the birds and everything, how they're all littered with plastic. And she goes on to say, the biologist, how these the salmon, the tuna, how they're going to end up having all this plastic, because not only did the sea life and the fish, not only were they 100% contaminated with these small little plastic particles that you can see here, but she was talking about how how the fish, the tuna, the salmon, many of these fish that we eat, they all eat these smaller fish that are also happen to be contaminated with with plastic. So she was talking about how it's going to be on in your restaurant soon. So unfortunately, I can't show you that clip because NBC cut it out. I'll leave you the link. You can go watch the clip, which is right here. Whoops, sorry, where is it? Right here. They talk about it.
The leading edge of what many fear is an oncoming wave.
It's an oncoming wave.
A 10-mile stretch of buoys, bottles, and fishing nets. Even a refrigerator has washed ashore. This section of Camilo Beach used to be covered in beautiful sand, but now it's pieces of broken plastic, in some cases 3 to 4 inches deep, that have redefined the very look of this coastline.
You keep digging and you just keep finding more.
Debris is already impacting wildlife.
A lot of stuff in there.
Necropsies on albatross show seabirds are digesting plastic at an alarming rate.
Every bird we open has plastic. 100%.
And it's showing up in our fish too.
The species that we love to eat, like salmon and tuna, are eating the fish that we're finding plastic in. It's in our human food web.
All that plastic is propelled.
So, like I said, you can go watch a clip. It's just about done. I've watched it all. That same biologist you just saw a second ago, she goes on to say how eventually that plastic will be on our plates in our restaurants. But that's cut out now. Anyhow, that's it for my Fukushima news, folks. And take care and stay tuned. There will be some updates. Thomas will not have died in vain. It's something it stirred me here, folks. It's really picked me up here. Since breaking my neck here, my C6, C5, and C4 in late 2011, life has sent me a series of blows, but I've picked back up, and let me tell you, I'm going to carry on that torch. Hopefully you'll join along here and as we do some more discovery in the truth. Take care.